Okay, so today I'm going to do my first NBA reaction of the whole season, the first game I'm going to watch in full. The way that Adam Silver said a couple years ago or whenever, he got flamed for it, but it's kind of true for me, or maybe probably for a lot of people, that, the NBA is more of a highlights-driven league, right, where people don't really watch the full games. It's kind of true. I mean, I'm sure some people do that. Obviously, you pick your favorite team, you can do that, but even then, that's 82 games for the season. Like, who is really watching every game? It's too much, so... I kind of follow it casually more. There's certain storylines or drama or fun things that I like to look at. So I don't really know much of what happened this season, but I made a few good predictions early on. I always do like an NBA 2K episode. It's like a trademark of mine. Usually like before the beginning of the season or right when the season starts, or I'll do like a little mini series of NBA 2K. And then I'll make a lot of predictions and analysis of the season up to that point and just go over some of my old takes in general, stuff like that. And then usually before the playoffs, I think I missed that this year. Before the playoffs, I would usually do a 2K episode and then do some predictions there, but I completely just missed the boat. I think I made still some basic predictions, but like let's go over the playoffs a little bit, right? It doesn't start till 8:30, and in tradition of this, I guess it kind of fits. I got some Pizza Hut, so I'll be eating some of that. You'll get some ASMR mukbang, but I would like to watch the whole game. Like, I've done this a few times, like over the last couple of years. I'll pick, like, okay, I did the Super Bowl reaction a couple of years, and then I did like Game 7 between OKC and Denver last year, which I had predicted the Nuggets would actually win and Jokic would have a big game, but I was wrong. And then I predicted, or whatever, then I saw the Pacers OKC Game 7. So like those are some of the ones I reacted to. And so this year I haven't done any, probably this one, and then if there's a finals Game 7 or something interesting, I could do that. But whatever, this is like a Super Bowl type moment where it's like whatever team wins this should probably win the finals. I mean, I'm from New York. I'm in New York right now, but that doesn't mean the Knicks should be happy to have made it there, right? I'm not going to say that the Knicks are going to win it at all. Like, Stephen A. is such a clown, actually. He's predicting that. Obviously, he's a Knicks fanboy. I won't say he's a bandwagon Knicks fan. Actually, I'll give him credit because he's consistently repped for them for a long time. But he'll say recently, like, oh, the Knicks are going to win it all. But did he say that at any other time during the whole season, right? No, he didn't, right? Nobody was predicting that. In fact, even Charles Barkley, I saw a clip, he said at the beginning of the season, I think, that, the Knicks are going to make it to the finals. But then he said recently that, the Cavs, like more when they were asking just now, right, as the playoffs are happening, then he said, the Cavs are going to make the finals. So he kind of ruined it, right? He made a good prediction there. He made a couple good predictions, actually, of who would win the finals. When the Bucks won it, he predicted it. And when the Nuggets won it, he predicted it, right? Kind of like throughout the season, he was all over them. Unfortunately, some of that has to do with just injuries. Like, if I had said in 2019, the Raptors are going to win it with Kawhi, because I obviously love Kawhi, it doesn't really matter because, if Kevin Durant is healthy, that's not going to happen. So how do I know that, right? So sometimes predictions are BS, right? People just remember the outcome of the prediction, not the circumstance. Like, if you predicted the Warriors would win in 2015, but yeah, Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving get hurt. Like, it's just kind of a dumb way to look at it. But so my predictions this year were completely out of whack. But let me go over first my good predictions. I said that the Pistons and the Spurs, which we haven't seen the outcome of that yet, but I said that the Pistons and the Spurs, while they were good sort of, underdog stories, or like they're good storylines as far as young teams that had really exceptional seasons, but you don't expect them to win at all or to make it to the finals necessarily, right? Just because they had exceptional seasons. Teams rarely do that, right? And I don't know why people always fall for that trap, where, they go from not making the playoffs or, being a non-factor the year before to now all of a sudden, they're the 1 seed and they're going to just win the title. That doesn't happen, right? So this would be like a tough learning year. It's kind of like even with OKC, if you go back. OKC was the 1 seed and they lose to Dallas, right? A couple years ago when Dallas obviously loses to Boston. So that shows you it was a great year for OKC, but you don't just automatically win. There's a learning curve that takes some time, right? I wish I could like show a visual scoreboard in front, like somehow. Like if there was some ticker or some, I don't know how to really do it, but like put a widget that kind of would track the score. There should be kind of an easy way to do that, but I could just show it on the screen, but I'm kind of used to doing these camera things now. But no, what I'm saying is that, so I predicted that Detroit and the Spurs, while they were nice stories, right? They're young teams that overachieved the season. Nobody expected them to be that good, like their regular season standing. So I predicted both of them would not make it necessarily that far or to the finals. So I was right about Detroit. Again, you had a great season, but then you came up short. And so I think the same thing will happen with the Spurs. People are obviously making fun of OKC for the refs, which I get it, you know. I don't really blame them as the players as much, because like any team could flop. Any player can flop. The point is the refs shouldn't reward it, so there's a certain incentive there. And I'm not sure I really get why either. Right? Why do they give Shea and, you know, OKC at times at least some special treatment? What is it about the Thunder that's so... They're not really the biggest market team, right? Sam Presti, obviously a genius. You know, the big three with Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russ didn't work out, but just to create that was great. To create this afterwards, like he's really the real MVP, Sam Presti. But the point is that, yeah, I don't know exactly why they get that preferential treatment. Shea has like made more free throws than he has field goals in the playoffs. Like it's somewhat legitimate. Obviously, a lot of high volume guards, to be fair, do that. Like James Harden was a bit of a foul merchant himself. That's why he struggled and flamed out actually in the playoffs somewhat, because the same way he would get, he'd average 35 in the regular season, he couldn't rely on that in the playoffs anymore. So now, you know what I mean? That it's not hard to understand why he would struggle, because you can't rely on that same style of play when they don't give you the same calls, which in some ways I almost don't respect the refs for. You might blame James Harden, but it's like, if you can play like that in the regular season, okay, why wouldn't you? And now you can't anymore. So like the game shouldn't change that drastically. Why not just call it consistently? You know, it's kind of that's one of the things, even though I like basketball, like out of all sports, probably the two that I would theoretically like the most would be basketball, because it's fast paced, it's kind of simple, to the point. Whereas some of these games like baseball can take forever, and the score, you know, you don't score very often. Like it's, you know, basketball's up and down. You're going to score or not score every 24 seconds, right? So something's always happening. Baseball can be slow. It can take too long. Football can be convoluted, you know, take so long to get down the field. You could have, you know, cricket, and some of these are super slow, soccer. So it just takes longer. This is like an up and down kind of game, and tennis is like that, where it's kind of fast paced. Obviously, I love 1-versus-1 games too. Even like, you know, I like chess, or I like, you know, card games and stuff for that reason myself. But you know, that's the thing. But the thing with a contact sport or a semi-contact sport is the fact that, you know, I think that it does lead to that issue, right? Because either football I wouldn't take seriously, because I would say, well, the purpose of the game is to just beat the crap out of each other and tackle. So it's like an intentional contact sport, so it's very hard to officiate that. Like, he hit him too hard. Like, that's a foul. Like, but the point is to hit the other team. So I don't. It's just kind of dumb, right? And there'll be like certain layers of, now they don't let you hit like you used to be able to, or they won't let you hit the quarterback, or they won't let you hit certain quarterbacks certain ways. It leads to this inconsistency that's just annoying, because, right, so it's, in that sense, the purity of a non-contact sport, like, okay, tennis, there really is no way for the refs or human interpretation to mess that up, right? Where the ball lands within the lines or out of the lines, like, it's pretty straightforward. So that you would think you could take more seriously, and you would enjoy that more, because even like bowling or golf or something, right, everything should be objective, and there's no room for ref interpretation. It's, you know, pseudo contact or not. That kind of ruins it. So the subjective contact of the NBA is the worst part. Even in eras where, hand checking, or you could play it tougher, it's always subjective, because some players are getting fouled every possession, like Shaq, but because he's big, they let them get away with it. Like, it's just too subjective, so that part can ruin the game, even if there's no ulterior motive behind it, right? It takes me back to one of my expressions from my debate format, like, whether through error or ulterior motive, something bad is still bad. So even if, like, you're saying, the league has some incentive and bias towards OKC, let's say, or even if they're just that incompetent or whatever, they're doing it by accident, either way, it's still a bad result, right? That's the point. It doesn't really matter whether it's intentional or not. People always get caught up in that discussion with certain conspiracies, like, was 9/11 an inside job? My whole thing would be, I wouldn't even worry about that as much as I would just say it was still bad that it was allowed to happen. So, like, you trust the government to protect you and you give them so much power to protect you, and then they fail, and then instead of them being blamed for it, they use it as a pretense to get more power and say, that's why we need to, increase this and that security. It's like, no, you should be able to protect us with the amount of power you already have, and if not, we should blame you and impeach you and whatever, right? So it's somehow twisted, and like, we failed to protect you, so give us more power. Like, what kind of a stupid rationalization is that? So what happens is we're gonna have little Pizza Hut and wings and stuff here. I'll show you for a second, I guess, since we do have the camera going. I'm gonna put a prediction in here, actually, as a ticker, since I finally learned how to do this in text. So I'm predicting, I know people get mad, whatever, I'm predicting that OKC will win. And the reason why is because they are still the better team, deeper team, although Jalen Williams isn't playing, so that might play a factor. But I think that OKC actually will win. They are the champion. They are, I think, the better team, deeper team, more experienced team. They're young too, but the Spurs are super young. Like, what experience do the Spurs really have? So they've overachieved like crazy. They'll have a heartbreak. I think it'll be a close game. I'm going to predict something here, so how do I do this here? I think OKC will win, like, OKC, like, let me actually, because again, I haven't paid super close attention, but I think that let's switch to the storyline. A lot of hate towards the reference stuff, dangerous AI, and some of these channels having fun at the expense of it. Let me look at the other games. But no, only OKC has won 2 games in a row so far, and they led most of the way. The Spurs won the first game, then OKC won 2 in a row. Then the Spurs won 1, OKC won 1, Spurs won 1. So it'd be the first time the Spurs winning 2 in a row. So, like, a lot of people are picking the Spurs, or they want the Spurs to win, just because it's kind of fun to root against it, whatever. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say I think OKC will win. I'm looking at it from more of a historical perspective, right? I always use this Basketball Reference as a good site. So, Donovan Mitchell, playoff leader, 2026, in points. Stephon Castle, leading assist guy. Karl Anthony Towns, win share, that's my take, going good. I'm just kind of looking at the scores, like, so Wemby had 41 the first game. Shea had 30 in the second game. 26 tied the third game. Wemby led the fourth game. Yeah, why doesn't Wemby get the Wilt Chamberlain hate thing too? He has a bigger height advantage than Wilt did even at the time. Like, when Wemby does it, it's cool. When Wilt does it, he's, unfair advantage. A lot of these scores are high, like 118, 127. 103,982. I don't know. I'm gonna say, I think it'll be a somehow more defensive, slower paced game. So like, here I'll go. I don't know why this just popped in my head. I'll go with it. Okay, so I'll go with that. I finally learned how to use this stupid ticker thing, but I use it for some of my absolute philosophy though. So I'll say Spurs. It doesn't. I don't know like what that's really based on. That just kind of came to me. Because like if I'm looking at the other scores, like I think it'll be a bit more of a defensive game. I do again. It just makes sense from an experience standpoint. This is like when the Pistons beat the Bulls or something. It's always the young teams that need more time. Right, could the Spurs win it next year? Sure, but I just don't see it happening. But it's a great achievement, a great season. You can't just jump ahead. And then whether the Knicks will beat the Thunder or not is interesting because, for the Knicks to have even made it there, that's when you know somebody's not going to win. They're happy to be there. Right, nobody even predicted the Knicks to get there. People were saying Boston. Even I was saying Boston. Like, yeah, let me look at the playoff brackets and see how bad my predictions actually were this year. I was wrong about pretty much everything, I'll even acknowledge. But, I don't think I really bet against OKC, though, so far. But, like, for Denver to lose to the Timberwolves kind of shocked me. Like, I don't get it. Like, how did that really happen? Right, I thought they would lose to OKC later or whatever, or like even the Lakers, okay. I was impressed with them a little bit. Like I thought, okay, they would take OKC to 6 or 7 games. Not that they would beat them, but that it wouldn't be a sweep. Right, that was kind of crazy to me, so. Okay, let's actually look at the brackets here. The Cavs did better than expected, but then they flamed out. Like, I like that when a team does something unexpected. Like, the Sixers will beat Boston down 3-1, and that was really impressive because Boston should have been a contender. But then what happened? And then they get swept by the Knicks. Like, what do you mean? You did all that after all that, as Karl Anthony Towns would say in his zesty voice, which I can't do. And you do all that, what, to get swept by the Knicks. So that makes the Knicks look impressive, but it makes no sense. Like, I don't know. Yeah, we had the Magic repeating that in a funny way. Repeating the going up 3-1. And then losing, like, to the Pistons that 2003 or whatever. Doc Rivers. Getting clout. Well, on one hand, you could say that's overachieving, the fact that they were up 3-1. Yeah, Detroit had the comeback against Orlando. Then they lose to Cleveland. So that kind of shows you they were shaky the whole way. Like, it's a young team that overachieved this year that doesn't have this kind of experience, right? That's what you could read into. In fact, that's the way that when the Warriors lost in 2016, like to the Cavs, right? You can't be that surprised. Why? Because they were down 3-1 to OKC. So, like, this wasn't this invincible juggernaut team, Curry coming back from injury, but whatever. It wasn't like, oh my goodness, the Warriors were invincible and how could they lose? They had just gone down 3-1 to OKC, so clearly they had some issues. Right? Like, so that's like the psychological analysis you can have. Are you really that surprised that they lost to the Cavs in the finals 2016? Yes, you're still surprised, but you saw the signs a little bit. Like, they could have easily lost to OKC because some of those games were very tight, or they were down most of the time. So yeah, Detroit loses to Cleveland, and then so New York's been on the side of two of those moments where a team overachieves. Cleveland beating Detroit was kind of a big deal, like, wow, that's really cool. And then they get swept by New York. Same thing with the 76ers. Wow, they came back 3-1, beat Boston, and then they get swept by New York. Like, so the Knicks have been the party pooper, basically, of this postseason, because you do something impressive and then you get destroyed. So if that happened, maybe the Spurs beat OKC and then they'll get swept by the Knicks. Like, that's the way it seems. But the West is a different animal. Imagine if I get the score right. I just think it'll be kind of low. Well, not that really feels low scoring, but it'll be lower scoring-ish. But no, everybody will get mad because, they want the Spurs to win, but I think they more so just want OKC to lose. I just don't think it's going to happen. And his name is just so awkward for obviously such a big star, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. It's almost a hard name to make fun of, and then they come up with the one Shea Dildos Alexander from the Dangerous AI. So yeah, the Knicks 6 games against Atlanta, then they swept Sixers, swept Cleveland, very impressive. Based on that, you could say, like, they didn't have very tough competition, but both of those were upsets. Cleveland beating Detroit and the Sixers beating Boston. So, but there's a reason why they beat them, so I don't know. You could say they had an easy path, but I'll give them credit. And like I said, that's my really very well-aged take of Karl Anthony Towns. I was mostly bashing the Timberwolves for letting him go, but I also was identifying the positive impact he'd have on New York. I didn't say they'd make the finals, but it's kind of consistent with that, theory that he's a big impact player. Timberwolves are dumb for letting him go, So yeah, imagine if I get the score exactly right, and then people will be saying, you should have put that shit on some betting thing, right? Because I don't bet or anything, but, and then you would, if you get the score exact like that, you should win something big. But some of that really is hard to predict, because naturally the score might be, close to that, but then, they'll foul and stuff, Like, there's incentives with that too, like the late game fouling now, that could ruin, the score would have been right, but now they just do an extra foul that just because, right? Maybe they get a chance to shoot a 3, but that could ruin your bet right there. So Boston, a lot of people had picked to win the East. What even was my prediction? Yeah, I think that was my prediction, because Jaylen Brown playing like an MVP all year. He's one of my favorite players. Him and Devin Booker, my 2 favorite players. And it's like, I don't know what happened, how they lost the 3-1 lead. I don't get it. Somebody should be fired over that. Sleepy Joe Mozzarella, the nickname that my friend and sent in some YouTube comments, which is pretty good, because the Sleepy Joe is a reference to Joe Biden, obviously, in a way, but using that, this is Sleepy Joe, and instead of Missoula, Mozzarella. But, like, he's a bit of a clown, and he should be fired, or something should happen. Get rid of Jason Tatum. Because, Jaylen Brown he was the finals MVP. He is the better player, I've always said. That was one of my really good age takes, actually. I always said, if Boston wins the title, and this was years ago, he'll be their best player, not Tatum. Right, and he was the finals and conference MVP, so there's something to that. And then OKC swept Phoenix. They swept the Lakers. So, I mean, this kind of shows you these champion caliber teams. The Knicks have the 2 sweeps. The Thunder have the 2 sweeps. So, like, I don't know. It's just, it makes sense now, but I would not have predicted it. Right. So the Knicks had a somewhat easy path. The Thunder, I don't know. I mean, they're playing the one tough team in the West, but so yeah, that path doesn't surprise me, right? The East surprised me because I would have thought, okay, it's Detroit and the Celtics, and then the Celtics win from their experience, get to the finals. I was wrong about that. And then the West, I would have predicted OKC and I think I might have, I can't remember. I might have said OKC and Denver rather than the Spurs, but somehow Denver, I mean, again, you could clown me for that, like, oh, you know, they lost in the first round, but I don't think anybody really predicted that. You probably would have predicted, okay, Denver might lose to San Antonio, and then that's fine, but how did that really happen? I don't understand. So they lost to Minnesota, and then Minnesota loses to San Antonio. So yeah, I mean, I had some pretty wrong predictions with that, I'll acknowledge, but you know, ultimately, like, really, both teams that people predicted, and it's not just me, like, you got to be fair, both teams that many people predicted would have made it to the finals didn't even make the conference finals, which would be Boston in the East, who lose in the first round, right? Both teams that could have been in the conference finals lost in the first round. Denver loses to Minnesota, and Boston loses to whatever, it's the Sixers. So, like, that's a really weird sequence of upsets there. And then, you know, San Antonio, whatever. So, I guess I would have either said Denver or San Antonio. I honestly can't remember which one I said to make it to the conference finals, but I think I said Denver, and then OKC would beat them again. And that's one of those moments, like last year, you could have said, oh, the experience, like, oh, the Nuggets are a champion team, right? They do have championship experience, so maybe they should beat OKC, right? But that's one of those instances where it didn't happen. Like how I'm saying it now. They're like, oh, you know, OKC is the more experienced team, so they should win. And I thought that the whole series, really. I didn't think the Spurs were going to win the series at any point, really. But people want to hype them up, and they don't like the Thunder for the ref treatment, but let's see what happens. It should be starting soon. I'm watching on Peacock just because whatever. It's the first thing I saw that had it. So yeah, I mean, I typically only react to like 1 or 2 games like this, and really it's the only games that I watch in full the whole season. So I mean, I'm a casual fan, but whatever. The point is that I might do that, if there's a Game 7 in the finals, but right, other than that, there's not much reason to. Because it's kind of boring to watch a full game, I find, typically, but again, I did that last year with the Game 7 Thunder OKC, and it was like close somewhat, and then it started to be a blowout for the, you know, and then the Pacers, obviously, Tyrese. You could say the Thunder got lucky, obviously, with that. Tyrese getting injured in Game 7. Right, who knows what would have happened otherwise. So, yeah, let me hook up my Bluetooth headphones here, and then I'm going to watch on my other phone, obviously, because I'm not going to show anything. So, yeah. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be kind of more defensive kind of game, which seems odd given my score. Like, oh, that's considered defensive today, but it kind of is. Like, the way that the scores are. Like, a lot of these games have been 115s, 120s. So, yeah, I think that I think Wemby will have kind of an ordinary game. He'll have like 25 or something, but he won't have like 40. You'll see kind of the difference in the benches a bit. The way that, that's what'll end up happening. The Spurs will lose, and then people won't blame Wemby. They'll blame, that he doesn't have like that. This will be the talk on ESPN, right? Oh, he doesn't have that second guy. He doesn't have that second star. The Spurs are, need to give him more help, kind of a thing. So, you made it this far, but now they'll dog everybody out, right, as soon as that happens. So, yeah, the Knicks are just chilling. I mean, you can't really... I'm not going to hate on them at all. Like, I don't think they'll win the finals, regardless of the opponent. Although they'd have a better chance against the Spurs, because I think Karl Anthony Towns is a good matchup that way for them. But, I mean, the best kind of matchup for Wemby you're going to get. He can also stretch the floor. He can, he is actually a better defender than people realize. But, you can't really hate anything they've done. They've had the 2 sweeps. They've had, very clean wins. So there's nothing negative I can say about them. But, yeah, I wish there was a better way I can maybe show the score. Like if I could have a widget on here. I'm sure there's a way to do it. Let me see. Widget. Like, I don't know. Video source web. Okay, let me try it. Oh, maybe there is. Hang on. Stream if I close it. I don't even know. Looked it up like yesterday and it said 8:30. I swear to God. So I thought they were doing the pregame stuff. So I'm missing. So I guess I won't watch even this as a full game because I already missed the first quarter. So the Spurs started off a little hot. Let me try it here. Widget, web. What? Okay, I kind of was trying to make it smaller, but I guess that should work. I kind of just wanted to show the score. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Okay, so the Spurs are starting off pretty hot. I got to give it to them there. Not that big of a deal, though. That doesn't mean anything, but I'm not really rooting for either team. I just think the young team, inexperienced thing should come into play when a team has won a title. Right, it just feels right, but I guess Jalen Williams being out would be a big factor, but yeah, we got the scoreboard, we got that. That's pretty good. So now I'll actually start watching because I didn't realize it had started at 8. That's kind of crazy. 24 points. And I think regardless of my score prediction is not going to, that seems crazy. Shea pulls up to Game 7 with the refs. Right, so everybody's clowning on them. Let me check one thing here. Seems like it's a little laggy. I don't know if the stream is like that. Let me see. Let me test it again. Okay, whatever. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna watch it on Peacock here. So started an hour 30 minutes. Man, I swear I got baited by that. But no, I think my score prediction would have to be wrong because that's crazy that they've already scored 27. Castle has 9 points. I gotta change my orientation of my thing. Yeah, this is a pretty fun format to do. Like, again, it doesn't require much setup. The way that, like, as if I was playing a game or something, right? They're like, oh, I can just sit in my car and do it with no problem. We're gonna get lag though. And we might get like different ads than what you might get because it's like because it's through a certain streaming service, Peacock, so whatever. This is the one that I got to rewatch Sight some time ago, years ago. Oh my god. We're watching like a loop of this ad over and over. There's some Honda. I'm in a Honda right now, bro. know your audience. Like, I can't buy another fucking Honda when I already have one. Look at Kevin Hart selling out to DraftKings and Shaq and all these people. That's one thing I kind of don't even have sympathy for. Let's do elitist victim blamer stuff. Is Wemby has Shea is averaging 30, so even if you took away the free throws, it'd still be impressive. Let's see if it's synced up. Yeah, I think the refs maybe will play off, like not be. They'll be self-conscious a little bit. A lot of turnovers though by OKC. Bro's getting stolen by a TikToker. Right, my ball knowledge comes from dangerous AI's memes. Getting ripped by a dude who makes TikToks. Wait, that looked like Jalen Williams, so though, sorry, is he playing or not? Right, yeah, I think I have a delay, unfortunately. Yeah, it keeps doing that. Oh, man. For fuck's sake, man. Uh, 20 to 27, not a big deal, really, but they played pretty bad to start. Yeah, wait, I thought I read that Jalen Williams wouldn't play. They were faking us out. Literally fake news. I thought that was... I would say it seemed like a defensive affair, but they have scored a lot already. Yeah, Holmgren has been sort of in his head a bit where it feels like he's intimidated or he's just not willing to, I don't know, it's like an effort thing. Well, this is the best start the Spurs could have hoped for. Imagine OKC loses and then they blame the refs. What about Syracuse? And Caruso was averaging like 20 points for a while. Still a long way to go, but I don't know what's happening. It keeps lagging, man. Come on. Because then it won't be really synced up. Yeah, like the Spurs don't have like the second star, but they have a lot of other good pieces. See, where's Wemby on that putback? But yeah, the Spurs can certainly go cold because yeah, Wemby, either that's a no call or Wemby is the one who hits him. See, the refs, they're trying to prove that they're not favoring whatever. Did they play that anything is possible from Tatum or from KG? Because that would have been the way that people clown Tatum. Oh, he has no aura and he just copies what everybody else does. This is like the subjective shitty element that can happen, though. It's like, right, people will blame and attribute to the refs, so it kind of ruins the whole game, even if it's through error. That kind of cancels out the successful challenge. Fuck. I like his demeanor, though. He's very serious. He looks kind of like Billy Donovan, who was obviously a previous coach. Oh, it's not really flagrant, but it didn't seem like entirely intentional, but wow. Very good free throw percentage. I feel like I'm always a little delayed for some reason, but I can't really do anything. This is on a constant delay. Getting lit up by a TikToker. That's what we gotta keep saying. I don't get this though, of Wemby bringing it up the floor. Like, sometimes just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. Oh, it's not too bad. It was a bad start, but they has come out a little slow. Right, I think the Spurs are definitely capable of going on a cold stretch. I guess I don't really know too much of what to say. Like, just Wemby is getting, but no, like something to do with yoga. All these ads are just for cars. Or here's like an interesting quote that I was saying the other day. Like, I just come up with quotes like on the daily. The like credit cards and that kind of excesses, right? Credit cards and loans and whatnot are like the welfare of the middle class. Like, you get this excessive excesses to overcompensate for what otherwise you might question or. Right, that's a very good analogy. Credit cards are to the middle class what welfare is to like the lower class. Like, oh, it keeps them from revolting or it keeps them from whatever, distress. Only 5-point game. His whole life is consistent. That is a really good line that you said. I want him to have like 50 with no free throws, so then people can't say that shit. But he said the contact, but what contact? There was no contact, and he didn't even get a foul, so even the commentator's imagining it. Yeah, Harrison Barnes is kind of underrated. He's part of the first show. Getting carried by a TikToker, of course. Most affected by the impending ban for Chinese spyware virus. Fucking. Oh god, it keeps lagging though. Yeah, it seems like Harkenstein is doing better than yeah, they're keeping it very attached. Yeah, like Wemby is almost built like Wilt a little bit. So like he's a modern day poor man's version of Wilt, and you might think that's an insult, but one of the best analyses I ever did, right, when I was doing that 1 week sports podcaster thing that I did, right, and I talked mostly about basketball because it's what I know about. Like the comparison between Tim Duncan is glazed and top 10 and all that, and okay, I'm not even disagreeing with that, but guess what that means? Wilt Chamberlain on the Lakers was basically a prime Tim Duncan, even as he was playing against players like Kareem or, other great players. So that shows you how great Wilt is. Imagine what he was before that. He's like Shaq plus Tim Duncan in one. But when he was with the Lakers, he put up Tim Duncan type numbers, even against Kareem and, great competition. So he would have like 20 points, 20 rebounds, 5 blocks, 5 assists. If Duncan had that, we would say, even against Corliss Williamson or whatever weird Nets players and stuff, you would have those kind of stat lines. He wouldn't put up big scoring numbers like 40, 50 every game. Tim Duncan would put up like 20 and 10 or 15. Like he would average to the lower 20s, 20 to 25. So I'm not bashing him. I'm just saying it wasn't like Shaq where he's putting up 38, 36, 33 in final series like that. So yeah, Wilt on the Lakers was prime Tim Duncan. That's not a slight against Tim Duncan. That just makes you realize how good Wilt was, which people don't realize. So yeah, Spurs came out pretty good. Definitely a little higher scoring than I thought. Let me move around a little bit. I like the little scoreboard widget. That's kind of fun. Not that I really need to show it. I've never had that in my life, the church's chicken. Oh, man. I wonder if people can guess where I am. Things that helps to fill out the map or update the map with the camera. I'll be the geocacher guy, and you can kind of guess along the way or whatever, pick interesting spots. That was like similar to the Nuggets, so like the Nuggets were up big, and then they came back. The Thunder came back on them. It's a situation where you basically, but yeah, like Wemby. That was what I was gonna say. That Wemby, he's gonna bring the ball up the floor. There's no reason why. Like, this is where we bad coaching or try to show off. There's no reason for Wemby to ever bring the ball up the floor. Just to conserve his energy. Don't let him do that. Like, do it in such a way that, like, yes, he can do that. Just like Jokic can pass and he can do other things. But when you put too much on one player, that exhausts them and it ruins your whole team chemistry. So yes, Jokic can lead the league in assists, but he really shouldn't, right? If you're leading assists and rebounds and points, like, he can do that. Just like Wemby can do a lot of things. He can shoot threes. He can handle the ball, but he shouldn't have to do all that. Right? You should balance it out with team chemistry. So you focus on doing what you do best, right? Like, Jordan could have led the league in assists or whatever, but no, you let Scottie Pippen handle that and let Jordan do what he does best, right? So that's the problem, is like, when you try to make somebody do everything, yes, they can do it, right? But that might not be the best thing for them to do. The 40-33. It's not too bad, but just doesn't there's no room for error right now. If you have a bad stretch now, you're cooked, right? So you have to keep it. Yeah, Caruso was carrying for a while. I read a stat, like, he was averaging 6 points per game for the regular season, and he's averaging like 21 for the playoffs. Maybe not now, but like how does that? I understand you increase your minutes or production, but that's crazy. Oh, here's the foul. The foul merchant, free throw merchant. They're going to be baiting all day. I think the score now is glitched out or something. Right, but if you can equalize a little bit, like, at least give them a hard time, score a decent amount yourself. Kind of what you realize with some of those fallacies about Wilt or others is like, competition. It's like, yeah, your competition was the best competition ever. The Celtics, who won 11 out of 13 years, or your, I like when you can hear certain things in the stands that they're that loud and obnoxious. Yeah, good on the Knicks for doing that. Now they should come out. It's always a fallacy. Well rested, or have rust. But yeah, OKC does look kind of messy, but he hits the three. I mean, he's doing he's hitting jump shots. I gotta like reset this shit. The scoreboard. I guess I don't have too much really to say. I mean, not really that fun or exciting yet. Jennifer Gardner, what is this movie here? Oh, we're getting like Peacock related ads. Is the Tim Hortons. There's a ton of them over here. Well, obviously because you're closer to Canada. Like Watertown, even Rochester. Danny DeVito cryogenically frozen, waiting for a sub. Yeah, they beat the Pacers, asterisk. Oh, Tyrese was hurt, but I get it. I mean, not even holding injuries against people, it's just like, you know, it ruins the whole feel of it. Yeah, we need Alex Caruso to rescue them because otherwise it's not going to be enough. Too much lag. It's only a 6-point game. I mean, the Spurs came out tough, but not going to be able to maintain it. Oh, 6-point game, they can cut it to 4. I'll try to update this thing. The try to reset this little stupid score thing. How are they really playing Wemby? I don't get it. They're not really doubling him or anything. Wow, so SGA is going off. I mean, you got to give it to him. A lot of them just jumpers, not relying on the fouls. And I mean, that's the sad part. Is like he's so good that he doesn't need to rely on that, but it's still right sort of special treatment that he gets. Oh, I couldn't see. Sorry. Wemby, the Walmart store version of Wilt. Oh, that was a good comment. Sorry.
Delaware Avenue.
I must have missed them saying that. That was such a good comment. They think the Spurs is going to win. Sorry, I couldn't see that. I thought I had the chat up, but... Okay, I just said a little bit slow. Whatever. I like the way he said that. No. But that was a great comment, Matthew Garcia. With the Walmart version, which is still a compliment, believe it or not, but 2 Yeah, look at that. This is the heart of the champion right here. Not even relying too much on fouls, or as soon as I say that, they turn it over and yeah, the amount of disrespect Wilt gets is just ridiculous because it doesn't make sense, right? You guys, like, oh, you like Yao Ming, but you don't like Wilt. Well, Yao Ming had a bigger height advantage than Wilt did, so, like, what does that mean, right? Why do we... And, like, who is Yao playing against every night? You'll point to a couple names, like, oh, he played against Shaq. Okay. Wilt played against Kareem. Wilt played against, whatever. Nate Thurman, great defender, I don't know. It's just ignorance. Yeah, Caruso's got to save the day a little bit. But Shea has had very little rest here, and he's still killing it. And not even all from free throws. So look at him go, dude. Look at him go. So a very impressive comeback here so far. Bad start, so it's going to be almost tied by halftime, and so they have a good chance. Yeah, and I'm not rooting for the Thunder. I just think it makes sense, and I think they're going to win, right? Because they're experienced. Ooh. I don't know how the scoreboard is ahead of me no matter what. 49 to 49, but like it's living in the future. Yeah, this is just horribly delayed, I think. You go to recovery here. Oh, watch SGA, he's going to do it. Or I can already see that's 51 OKC, so... Yes, you don't underestimate the heart of a champion type moment. Perfect timing before the half to tie it up. You know. Bank Center, like what is that for? I wonder what sport. How many free throws does he have? So Wemby's slacking a little bit, even though they were up pretty decent. Wait. Wow, that's quite the recovery now. It's 4 points. Damn, that scoreboard is sort of spoiling me because I'm caught in the past somehow. I keep trying to scroll ahead, but it doesn't work. Right, we're just on perpetual delay, I guess. It's a 53 to 56 halftime Spurs. Okay, so we'll take a little break. I'm not going to watch a halftime thing. Let me try to get somewhere, and then I will... Yeah, the delay on that's a little bit annoying. I don't know if that's the fault of Peacock or what, but compared to the scoreboard, you can definitely see it's an issue. Let me try to see here. so the thing is that it's a good start by the Spurs. They came out with the right mindset, but then you let them recover like that. That's what you kind of got to do, is you got to blow it out in such a way that they can't come back, right? Keep them out of it. So by letting them back in, I think that was a pretty impressive thing, right? So now if OKC comes out big in the second half, right, they might have a big third quarter and blow it away. But yeah, it's pretty good. It didn't seem too reliant on the free throws as much as there's talk about that. But yeah, it's definitely good game 7, tight, close. You know, when games like this are blowouts, it's kind of disappointing, because even that game 7 where Tyrese went out wasn't really a blowout, but it was just, they kept a bit of a cushion there. Good first half. I find the halftime shows pretty boring usually. Or is it actually going to be an inside the NBA thing? I forget who is what now, like, because they're not on TNT anymore. But those could be funny. In fact, there were some times where I would enjoy watching that more than the games themselves, was the actual post-game stuff, and some of those segments are really fun, like Shaq in a Fool and stuff. So that can sometimes be more fun than the game, or even like my interest in it overall. I like the history of the game. I know a lot of facts about it, right? I've had debates about it. I like some of the memes. I like some of the storylines, drama, more so than the actual games themselves, right? So as far as actually watching on a regular basis, there's something about that, like the peripheral. There's a lot of interesting things to do with it, but not necessarily that you're going to actually watch every game. Yeah, how interesting would that be if Karl Anthony Towns wins the Finals MVP? That'd make my take age even more beautifully. But no, I mean, I didn't predict that they'd make the Finals, but still, it's like, it at least coincides with the value of that. Right, so the first final since '99 for the Knicks. Carmelo couldn't do it. Amari, any of Jeremy Lin's little thing, like nobody could do it, right? Brunson is great. Karl Anthony Towns is great. It's a good story, obviously, but somewhat I don't like the popularity of some of those teams. I wouldn't even say the New York fans are bandwagons. It's just more like, okay, the reason why it has such a popular fan base is just because there's so many people there, not because it actually has any significance. Like, right, so it's not that they're bandwagon, but it's like the Cowboys fans or something. It's just like this hype and hysteria. But I don't know. Yeah, I gotta remember that. Maybe for other things I can make like little graphics and put a widget of them. Like, I haven't messed around with that sort of thing too much. I try to sometimes put the topics I'm discussing at the bottom, but when I'm doing my absolutist philosophy, but then I end up going through so many topics that it doesn't really matter. Like, I wonder if there's something right here. Yeah, I guess I just haven't been into the season at all. Like, normally I follow it a bit more, but I don't have much really to say about it. Like, even if I was to do the 2K episode, I could go through some things, but yeah, let's just get to where I'm going by the time halftime's over, hopefully, and then I'll watch the rest of it, and then, you know, that should pretty much make sense, because my prediction could come true after all, right? The score isn't that high. It just seemed to start off that way, right? It felt like the Spurs had like 40 points way before, and then they slowed down, right? The Thunder went on a pretty good run there to come back. But I love that. Wemby's a Walmart version of Wilt, which is still, believe it or not, a compliment, because that's how good Wilt is. Or, you know, Tim Duncan, prime Tim Duncan was like Wilt on the Lakers, which is not an insult. Wilt on the Lakers still won a championship, Finals MVP. You know, he's still, you know, made multiple finals. He's still like Lakers will. Even then, he would be an all-time great. Again, he'd be like Tim Duncan, so wherever you put Tim Duncan. But again, he was much better than that even. So people shortchange his skill and stuff, and they even don't understand that, you know, it's a situation where I'm trying to think what else I could react to, though, just in general. Like, I could just do random videos, or I wanted to do movies. Like, I'll do that one at some point, The Send Help. That was one that I said I was going to do, because I did The Housemaid, and it was pretty fun, but, like, I was kind of starting to trash it, because it was actually a pretty bad movie. It was, like, trying too hard, but that, I don't know. Some of these characters and stories just piss you off. Like, they're so dumb, or they have such a lack of survival instinct or whatever, that's like, you almost don't even feel bad for them at that point. Right, because they are just so stupid. Or sometimes it's just more that they're not even interesting, right? Like, why do I care about this character? Yeah, I think OKC will have a bit of a big third quarter and then kind of run away with it a bit. And the Spurs will come back a little bit in the fourth, but they'll still lose. And then I should make a finals prediction. Well, let me wait till we see actually the end of this game before I say that. But no, I got totally baited by the fact that I thought it said 8:30. I was sure of it. And then I ended up starting the game late because it was 8 apparently. Sometimes people complain about that, like it's unfair to the East Coast as far as time for some of these games in the West, right? That they go on to like 11 or midnight, you know. Okay, so how much farther is this, dude? Holy shit. But I like how they sometimes put stadiums like out of the way of the big city. That way it doesn't cause traffic issues. Like the Foxborough, we saw that with Boston, right? Foxborough was like not where I thought it would be, or whatever. So like, it's far enough outside of Boston that it wouldn't cause an issue for that. I don't know if it maybe started the third quarter and the scoreboard just doesn't update, but That was funny. We got a real life GTA interaction. I don't know what the speed limit here actually is supposed to be. So 61 to 60. You know, I think the Thunder will pull away a little bit here. '61, yeah, Caruso's got to come up big. Some of these clutch moments. Oh, so the second half has been pretty much one-sided. I haven't watched the other games, obviously, so I didn't realize. Almost like it's by design that they want to make the first and last games interesting. SGA at the line, of course. This is the story of the game. Yeah, they keep double teaming him constantly. It's not a bad idea, but staying pretty close. Maybe I'm wrong about them pulling away, but I think they will at some point here. Staying pretty even. I mean, I haven't noticed the referee being too annoying in this game. I mean, sucking the D to him. You got to be careful how you say that. Yeah, the refs are sometimes clowns with that. You'll be calling a timeout for a minute, but they'll miss it. And then, the one time you accidentally call it when you don't want it, they see it, like the Chris Webber. But no, I like how SG is playing. It doesn't feel too predatory for the foul baiting and stuff. And I don't know that the refs are even going to reward it here, but I blame the refs more for rewarding that or for being inconsistent, where sometimes they will reward stuff like that, sometimes they won't. Right? They give kind of mixed signals so players like James Harden get in a tight spot, because either you do that or you don't. Either you value that or you don't. The number of fucking car ads we get here is ridiculous. we're getting ads that are actually somewhat relevant to where I am right now. So this is the geo tracking shit that it would do. This is the promo again. I want to see if anything is possible. I want to see it must be the KG one, but it'd be such a troll if it was the Jason Tatum one. Or no, he didn't even say that. He said we did it, but in like the same way, I guess. This looks different as a Walmart. You got to see this. Like, is this the world's next biggest Walmart? Like compared to the whatever. Compared to this one looks so different and elegant and regal. I gotta show this off. Right, like the one in Albany. It just looks so different. Look at the pillars. This is where it's showing off. I've never seen one quite like this. And it just looks somehow bigger than others. Looks very clean, very nice. Very interesting design here. I don't know. Bismack Biamo. Oh God. One of many players who caught strays from Stephen A. Smith over the years. I don't know, it seems like an interesting game, and I'm still sort of bored by it a little bit. I don't know why. It just feels kind of, the pace of it is weird. Right, it still seems like it's too easy to score, and just the general modern vibe of that lack of defense or whatever. The most foul thing McCain has done since making TikToks. Wemby 68-63. I mean, it's very, very tight game. SGA slithering through, hits it too. I mean, you really can't hate the way he's playing here. He's not foul baiting. He's just 26 points. How many of those are free throws? Tell us. Doesn't feel like it's been that bad. But this is how it should be every game. Like, they shouldn't rely on that. Wow. Oh, that looks like a 3, though. Oh, Champagne is an 8-point game. I was wrong about the Thunder pulling away. It might be the opposite. That name is just so triggering. It's like when people purposely mispronounce words. Do you want some champagne, my dear? Wemby felt like he got shot, but he died for a good cause. Wemby died for our sins. Yet now who's falling to the ground? No, I respect how SGA is playing. Wemby pulls up to the game 7 wearing a fish sweater. Thought this was real for a second, finding Shea. Yeah, that was a good sort of spirited run by the Spurs again. So if they do win now, this would be the one that does it. This might be tough to overcome now because I lost my headphone. Oh my God. Yeah, Holmgren is just a waste of space at this point. He's trash. Yeah, with Jalen Williams, or he was playing briefly. I don't know. I thought he wasn't supposed to play at all. Yeah, it can't be selective, but that's literally the definition of how all this works. Now, SGA is going to force it a little bit. Spurs are very solid defensively, though. Oh, this could be it. Just hit a 3 here, and I'll be impressed. Oh, wow. 76-65. Wow. I was not predicting this at all. Now, if the Thunder come back again from this, then they would deserve it. Wow, they seem kind of shocked right now. That's crazy. How did that happen? I was predicting almost the opposite because the Spurs started out the game hot so they would cool off. But, you know, the thing is, don't start taking threes now because then you can get on a bad stretch. I feel like Caruso's not the type to really flop, though. He just... but people will be making fun no matter what. It felt like SGA didn't rest at all in the first half. He was kind of overdoing it. But he's played very well. Very dangerous spot now, though. You came back well in the first half. I'm surprised they let it happen again. Like, the Spurs just aren't slowing down. Like, I'm shocked by that. They should have a slow, cold run for a time at some point. Caruso's really going to guard, successfully guard Wemby, like how you could guard Jokic. Fuck. Yeah, I almost feel bad for SGA. He's getting no help at all. But I like this. His attitude is good. He doesn't bitch or anything. I don't get what happened with Jalen Williams. Didn't he start the game and then he... I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of inconsistent sometimes how things are called. It's the issue. It's subjective. You might miss something. It'll be selective. They'll be like, oh, there's the foul. But then there's 100 other times where that could have been a foul too. But, like, I love it if you were to try to analyze Shaq. Like, who can take that shit seriously? Isn't that like an over the back type of thing? Oh, look, ball don't lie for the Spurs now. Why are we hearing a fucking Animal Farm story here? It's a 10-point game. SGA is trying to do it himself, but he's getting tired. There's one of the signature flops. He does like fall down like every single play. Right? Like, you don't always need to fall down. Like on jump shots, I don't like that, right? Fouls on jump shots should almost never happen because you're not really doing anything to earn it. But that was one of those like flop type moments. Not that all the great players don't do it to some extent. Yeah, gotta remind them that the East is weak. Oh yeah, only 8-point game. You gotta do something big here, though. Yeah, SGA is almost trying to force it now, so now the foul baiting will start. Oh my god. They're going to be raging about this. Let's look at the contact. He kind of fell for the fake, but I didn't see much contact. Well, yeah, this stretch is going to be the free throw merchant. But he played so good the rest of the game that I don't even care. Based on this game, I'm not even mad because... You got fucking Love's truck stop on your ass, dude. It's only 5 points now. Spurs could cool down. They're kind of shooting too fast. You got to get into something. Let Wemby post up for once. Like, stop with these threes, man. Why are you doing that, man? Like, I get that he can shoot threes, but you have all the time in the world. You have 3 possessions, and it ends with Wemby taking a fading 3. Like, what is that, dude? Just post up and do something inside. Yeah, this stretch is going to be where people complain for the... It wasn't bad. The first half wasn't bad, but this last couple minutes, the last, 7 points is going to be all free throws for the Thunder. Why are those people all standing? That was another comeback by the Thunder. This one I don't respect quite as much because of the free throws, but okay, 5-point game, very doable. Yeah, sometimes you fall in love with those type of threes and stuff like Wemby. Yes, he can hit those, but do you really want to do that? Yeah, why don't you just post up Wemby one possession and try to go inside? Like, why is that so hard to do? Oh, you don't use it on this. Or if he's right, you get another one. Okay, 5-point game still. Good run by the Spurs. They have another one in them because, yeah, at least you let Wemby go inside to try to create, even if he doesn't. But, yeah, Holmgren seems like he's just a total non-factor clown. I'm not saying he should be as good as Wemby, but like, let Chet try to score here, fucking clown. That was great instinct by Williams that he knew the shot clock was low and he just went for it. Or this is a different Williams. Maybe that's what I thought. That was a great, like a shot clock cheese type of shot. I mean, the Thunder are showing some resiliency. I mean, they got carried by the free throws maybe briefly, but Let's just see if my prediction comes right. So it's still a tight game, still a close game. The only ref kind of moment was the middle of the third here to help them come back. Right, that was the main issue. Wemby hits the floor. Right, they can flop. You can flop back. Or like people sitting next to the commentators could be really loud on purpose and get some of this shit through. I wonder how they stop that. Or they make a rule like, because some of the stuff people are yelling you can hear anyway from other random places, but especially if they're around the commentators. Oh, look at that ball don't lie type moment. It's like they're both shamelessly looking at that. See, that probably should have been a foul. It's a tough turnaround. I would say there's no reason to do that, but it was a shot clock thing. Again, pretty good comeback there. So I was wrong about the third quarter. Like, the way that I thought the OKC would go on a bit of a run, but they survive a run by the Spurs. But there was a little bit of foul baiting there, especially that 3-point shot was pretty funny by SGA. Like, and again, he bit on the pump fake, but Oh, here we go again. Foul baiting. Well, I missed what even happened with the last challenge. The Caruso one. I think they got it. It's just one of those excuse-making type things that people would always blame. Right, the refereeing in any sport, like, oh, the team you want to win loses, so you blame that. Yeah, it feels like SGA has been just playing the whole game. Yeah, let the TikToker literally clown you. Four-point game. Now you got to keep it close like Caruso. Let Caruso cook a little bit. He has those explosive moments. Look at that, dude. His TikTok account gives him superpowers. 5 for 9, 12 points. Wow. As long as you keep it close here, you're fine, but too many just like of these standstill type of threes where it's like you're not really even doing any. Oh, look, SGA is already coming back in, even though you're doing fine without him. Wow. Like a 3-point contest back and forth here. His goats are proud. Fuck. Look at that. Yeah, even Reggie saying go at him. Chats the clown. Yeah, nice, dude. Yeah, Chet is an embarrassment, you clown. You're like the Roy Hibbert. You're not doing anything. He's one thing, okay, I don't expect you to score 30 or something, but don't just be intimidated. 6, 13, 12. That's not too bad. 11 free throws, but he's been hitting jump shots, I mean. Or now the refs are just trying to prove that they don't favor OKC. Like, what is the point of a foul like that? That's one of those phantom foul type things that you know, if SGA gets that, you'll bitch about it. So that's way too slight. Yeah, you dribbled up the court, just passed around a couple times to get a contested three, and you still make it. Damn. I gotta respect the Spurs, regardless of outcome. Of like, they've really played their best possible game. Oh, look at, oh, that was beautiful. Yeah, Caruso's got to take over. Caruso carry them. I thought SGA was coming back in. Now that was legit because that should have been a dunk, basically. Fourth foul. You can't really afford to sub him out. Oh, shit. he hit his face more than anything. Doesn't seem like Wemby gets tired at all, though. You sometimes are just wasting the height of Wemby, but if you're hitting those threes, you can't really argue with it. If you look at some of the threes that these players take, it's just like in motion, semi-contested. Yeah, Chet's just scared. He's terrified. He's just a liability. Wow, okay. Man, this turned into a three-point contest here in the fourth. Very nice. Modern NBA in a nutshell. That's why you'll take some shitty three, but then you'll make it. The Steph Curry effect. It's like you can't argue with it then, but I feel like these contests don't even do anything. This matchup is dumb. Wow. No, Wemby's been hitting threes this game. At this point, I think the Spurs... Yeah, I think the Spurs are going to win now. That's one run too many. Wow. Like, that's too much. They've done this like 3 times. They just won't let them get back. Wow. That's crazy. Wow, dude. Yeah, I'm almost discouraged now. That's crazy. It's like nobody else is doing anything. Chet is just afraid. He has like 4 points. Fuck. They've had like 3 leads like this every time OKC comes back. Sam Presti rolling over in his grave. This is really how you're going to lose the championship? Like, this never happens in sports, I swear, in the NBA especially. A team like the Spurs comes out of nowhere and they just make it to the finals and beat the defending champ. Like, that just doesn't happen. That does not happen. I don't know. It's just a historical inaccuracy, like... Yeah, I mean, I'll still stick by my prediction, but I don't know. This seems... I don't know what could happen now. SGA has already had some heroics. Nobody else is doing anything, so... I think it's pretty much over. Yeah, the Spurs are only going to score 7 more points, apparently. It's on that. But no, that was very impressive by the Spurs. Like, guess what'll happen then? Then they'll definitely beat the Knicks. Like, imagine the Knicks would be really clowning. Like, imagine if they do all this and then they lose to the Knicks. You'd got to be absolutely banned from the league then. Like, you go through all this, you beat the defending champ just to lose to the Knicks. Like, come on. There's no way. But I do respect the Knicks, so... It would still be like a tough 6-game series, but whoever wins this should beat the Knicks. Or that's normally how you say it. The real finals is often in the West because whoever gets through is going to be good, you know? Games 5 and 6, 14 points tonight, 15 points. Why are they calling him a veteran? He hasn't been in the league that long, has he? Let's see if OKC has one more run in them. I mean, but the Spurs offense this game has looked godlike. There's never a period. Every time I think, okay, they're going to slow down a little bit, they're going to miss a couple of shots, they just don't. Yeah, that might be your hope, is that Wemby fouls out and then everybody will say foul bait, this and that. At the very least, he can't really play defense much now. It's like, Wemby, don't even worry about playing defense. Just, just keep shooting threes, I guess, is what you do. But you got to go at Wemby now. Go, yeah, now, Chet Holmgren's got to cook the clown. Fuck. TikTok level IQ plays. But that's all that some of these possessions boil down to. You just take a quick three, jack it up. You should always try to get an easy shot inside, even if you think the three is bigger than two. Like, flop, but you still miss. You can tell SGA is tired. He hasn't taken too many shots, but he's still hitting fadeaways like Kobe, like Jordan, like, people get mad, but they've had some good fight too, but you're putting yourself in a very tough spot here. No, he's played really good this game, though. I don't even care about the foul baiting stuff. Like, he's just hit a lot of good jump shots, everything. It doesn't feel like he's gotten a lot of layups, really, but been a lot of just jump shots. Or, again, free throws. Okay, let's see what run they have left in them. Yeah, but Chet is just trash. I wouldn't set a fixed time of when to bring him back. It's more like, let's see how it goes, but Caruso always looked like he was old no matter what age he is. Oh shit, is he gonna... So trash. You get a steal, but then you blow it. That was such a trash. You ruined it. You should just pass out in that situation then. Yeah, that was trash. Yeah, Hartenstein is a liability too. OKC bigs are trash. Chet can't do anything. Hartenstein can't do anything. They all suck. Butterfinger is clown behavior. So much for lack of experience, though. Like, yeah, this dude. You got one last chance here, but you got to play perfect, and I'm just not seeing the Spurs cooling down, though. I don't get it. Yeah, you never see a young team play like this. Inexperienced team. Looks like you probably traveled there, actually, but. Okay, you hit a 3 here. It could be McCain gonna get slain by a TikToker. Yeah, that's the one conclusion is the bigs for OKC are trash because, well, there's it. That's it. The Spurs can't score a single more point now for my prediction to be right. So now OKC is going to go on a 18-0 run to win the game. Like, that would be my... Fuck. Yeah, that's crazy though. Okay, let's see what they can do. I don't hit a 3 there is good, or it's only a 2. You just have to get some stops, which they can't seem to do at all. Yeah, Shea's played really good. Nobody else is really helping him. Well, I thought he just said there were no more timeouts. Yeah, that's why he doesn't have to like score 40 every game for you to win. Right, that's the beauty of it. But he felt really hot from 3 today. Which some people get triggered by that, like me even a little bit. Like, I get it. It's a good thing that you can hit them, but I don't know. He's got to get some stops. Like, okay, keep the Spurs at 104. My prediction still isn't wrong yet, necessarily. Right? Just get some stops. Oh, wow. He's killing my prediction. Okay. They're hitting a fair share too, but I don't know, man. You got to get some stops. They can't stop anybody. Everybody's just jacking up 3s all day. Just get a stop here. You have a chance. Okay, good. Now you gotta. Whatever. At least you gotta stop by getting a steal. Go ahead, foul bait a little bit. Yeah, Holmgren can't do anything right. Bro's getting paid to do cardio. Wow, okay, so Case and Wallace saved today, only 6-point game, but now you don't have much time left. You only have 2 minutes, so. Oh, this would be crazy, dude. My score prediction might be wrong, but can they still do it? Oh, this would be great. Just get a couple stops, man. See, they're not giving it to Wemby in the post at all. Oh, now they're. Okay, another turnover. Spurs getting sloppy. Okay. You don't have to get a 3 still. Just get a 2. Yeah, Reggie said the same thing. Fucking Holmgren's a clown. That's a bit of a 4 shot. That was a bad possession, though. Well, 1 for 15 would have cost you the game more. Yeah, now give it to Wemby and it should be easy. You're playing small, like, but the modern league doesn't like to go inside, so. Maybe it'll be reversed, 111 to 104. You don't have any time, man. That was a good fast possession, always. You have time mathematically. That is absolutely impressive, though, by the Spurs, regardless of outcome. That was a very good game, but yeah, OKC felt really behind the whole game. But at times they kind of forget about Wemby, which is a mistake. Right, like for long periods he doesn't do anything. Wow, they get a steal. Got to get a 3. I don't even know what they could do now. That's just crazy. It'll be the reverse score. 111 Spurs, 104 OKC. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Like, you gotta go quick, man. Yeah, there's no Rayon magic for you here, dude. It's over. They just couldn't play defense at all. Like, so I guess the Spurs are gonna win the title. I don't understand. Imagine, bro, if the Knicks beat the Spurs, then I'm gonna be very shocked. That was a shock to me, dude. Yeah, I respect that a lot, though. I mean, bro, what if now, because of the Karl Anthony Towns matchup, what if the Knicks actually win, dude? That was a shocker, though. So of course, people will be celebrating because whatever the flopping. Okay, it wasn't even because of that, though, or I don't know. I didn't see the flopping as the big issue there. Victor Wembanyama was the first player in NBA history with 15 plus threes, 15 plus blocks in a playoff series.